Hello, Richard the Dick Coughlin, 000 here with the sun in my eyes. I wanted to do this video a while ago and I kept forgetting to do it and put it off. And I know this is I'm kind of late in the day, but I wanted to talk about these two films that caused up a lot of big sort of stir. A Human Centipede, The Human Centipede, and a Serbian film. I had the good pleasure of watching both of these films pretty much within the same week. Now, for those of you who haven't seen Human Centipede and Serbian film, this video will contain spoilers. However, if you haven't seen a Serbian film and Human Centipede, can I advise you to remain ignorant of these things? This is an area where ignorance is really the best option, quite frankly. Human Centipede, when I heard about it, I was being told all this crap that it was, it's this the sickest film ever, it really goes extreme, it's disgusting, it's and I wasn't really expecting much, but I was thinking there might be at least a few points where I go, you know, and I watched it and it was so shit. It was on every level of a film. There was no story to it, there was no real point to it, there was no character development, you never feel anything for the characters, it was badly written, it was badly acted, it made no sense whatsoever. And on top of all that, it wasn't even that disgusting. You know, it was pretty gruesome in places, but for the hype that came before it, it was fucking awful. And maybe it's just me. I'm coming from I've watched loads of fucking films that have been banned in Asia and in Europe and stuff and all around the world. So I've seen some pretty gruesome stuff in my time. I remember back ages ago when they had the film, what was it, Hostel? When Hostel was coming out, and everyone was like, oh, Hostel, it just pushes the boundaries, and it's disgusting. People were watching it and fucking killing themselves. You know? It was fucking awful. There was a bit where the guy gets his ankles sliced open on the back of his legs, and that's a bit. But other than that, it was shit. It was so fucking uneventful, and it's always American films that tend to fail in this area. They tend to not be able to push the boundary, and it's weird. It's all these. It's certainly like foreign countries, like European cinema and Asian cinema, always seems to be able to push it a lot further. But then I watched a Serbian film. Serbian film again had the hype of Human Centipede. The difference is with Serbian film. Serbian film is very well written. It's a good story to it. You know, good story development. You know, there's a story to follow. There's character development there. You actually feel, you know, for the characters in there. You know, there's reasoning behind it. There's a sort of, you know, you can get the subtext to it. It's well produced. It's well made. It doesn't look tacky or cheesy. And it is, quite possibly, one of the most horrific and violently disgusting, horrifying films I've ever seen in my fucking life. It took about 3 weeks for me to fully sort of move on from that film. I'm not going to give you too many spoilers. I don't even think I can describe what happens in Serbian film, because I'd probably get flagged on the basis of that. But it is, I mean, basically, whatever you think it's going to be, it's worse. But it had all those points, and it was at least, I mean, I could forgive Human Centipede for being a dreadful fucking film if it at least was, at any point, disgusting to the point where it made me it made me gasp in you know, just in absolute shock at what I was watching. But it didn't do that. Serbian film at least did that. But the problem I had with Serbian film is the pretentiousness around it, in that the guy who made it claims that this film was some sort of allegory to Serbian politics and the Serbian government. And I'm like watching and, well, what's the message? What, so the fucking Serbian government is behaving in a way that is making people take part in incestuous, necrophilic, murder, rape, porn? I mean, you know, they're forcing people to be paedophile. I mean, what the hell is that? At least Human Centipede made no pretensions to be that way, but Serbian film did. And the point is, if that was the point, then that film ultimately fails. If he just said, it's just a fucking gruesome film, then I could at least give him that, say, well, at least that's all it is. And once I watched it, I was like, I didn't need to see that. You know, it's one of those films, and the thing is, I know if there's people out there who haven't seen a Serbian film, you're sat there now thinking, oh, I really want to see this film, I really want to see this film, and you don't. You don't want to see it. This is why, look, this is why people like me exist. People like me exist so I can watch this grotesque shit and then give back to you and tell you, you don't need to see this, right? Trust me. And you're going to watch it now. There is going to be a sequel to Human Centipede called Human Centipede 2. And the problem I have with that is that the Human Centipede 2 is based on the idea that there's a guy who saw the first Human Centipede film and got obsessed with it and wanted to recreate what happened in the film, but with a lot more people. The most ridiculous thing about that idea is the fact that there's somebody out there who would have watched Human Centipede and been that inspired by it. I haven't met anyone who actually cares enough about that film. Human Centipede 2, apparently it has scenes where a guy rapes a woman with barbed wire wrapped around his cock. You know, as if none of us have done that before. He masturbates with sandpaper while shitting in his hand. You know, Friday night for most of us. And it's been banned in the UK. Now, Serbian film wasn't banned in the UK. So if Serbian film wasn't banned, and Human Centipede was banned, I'm thinking, what the fuck is going to go on in Human Centipede? And I think the only reason it's been banned is because it's an American film. I think that's it. I don't think it's been banned. I think if it was made in Europe or in Asia, no one would have it wouldn't have been banned. Because it would have been off the radar slightly. But it gets to this point where it's like, you know, I understand and appreciate that you have to push boundaries in all forms. You know, but it seems there's this obsession with these films, it's just about being offensive. It's just about being disgusting for the sake of it, and there's no need for them to be too artistic or to put reasoning behind it. Really, I worry at this point. What I worry about is having watched Serbian film and Human Centipede, and I'm going to try and watch Human Centipede 2 just because, why not, right? But where does this get to the point? How much further do they have to go? Because I can't think at this point how much further someone can go in cinema. Because I mean, Serbian film was nearly banned for nearly violating child sex obscenity laws. That's how fucking far it goes. I mean, there's a cool scene where a guy gets killed by having his dick piercing in his eye, stabbing him in the brain. That's pretty cool. But other than that, it's like, how much further are they going to have to go? I mean, is it just going to be a film called Incestuous AIDS Pedo Rape or something like that, and that's going to be the whole film? Because we've now gone beyond the point where we had Snuff, that film Snuff, and I Spit on Your Grave, and all these other films. What point does it stop? You know, I just want to get that off my chest. Also saw Gone with the Wind the other night. What a boring fucking film that was. It's just Confederate propaganda, really. Because all it was like, how those evil boys from the old Yankees are coming here, and it's just some spoilt tarts whinging for 4 hours. That's it, essentially. That's Gone with the Wind. Spoilt tart whinges. Doesn't get her way. And it confirms also the first part of the film just confirms that all people in the South are cousin fucking inbred fucking wankers. Racist wankers. You know, that's it, really. That's me with that off the chest. Richard Vidikoff, 000. Good night, mate. God bless.